All right. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Making this video I was on earlier using Google Meet. If some of you are uncomfortable, I believe you can get on and block your camera if that's something you're uncomfortable with, and you're actually able to mute your mic too. It just kind of allows you to be right there with me. If you have any questions, you can ask. This first week is just solving worksheets, so I'm going to go over one of the problems from the multi-step equation worksheet right now. I'll kind of explain some things here at the end of the video, so I'll explain some ways that you can actually raise your grade. These assignments are not going to affect your grade. It's just something to keep this all fresh in your memory. Keep practicing, keep learning. Maybe in the end, I got to find out if I'm allowed to give extra credit, giving you some extra credit for doing all these extra assignments. But I will actually give you an extra credit assignment here at the end of the video. If all you got to do is solve one problem, very simple, not too complicated, but I'll post it here at the end of the video. So here's number 5 from today's worksheet. I wonder if that's backwards for you. Sure hope not. All right, so the first step in solving multi-step equations, remember we're always split down the middle on the equal sign. But the first step, we want to distribute, which is multiplication from the 3 to the x, from the 3 to the, I think that's a -6, and 4 to the x, and 4 to this number as well. Some other things I wanted to keep in your memory here, what terms are. What does it mean to be a term? So we have 4 terms right here. This multiplication always binds numbers, variables to one term. So because there's a parentheses, that's bound to being one term. Now the 3 being multiplied to the parentheses, this is all one term. So right now we have 4 terms. We have one term, second term, third term, fourth term. Now the reason I'm going over this, let's say there was a fraction here. Like this was a fraction, it was 1/3. And I asked you, okay, well, how do we clear a fraction? We multiply every term by 3. So if I was or had to multiply a number to every term, now you know how many terms there are. Okay. But in this case, we're going to distribute. So 3 times x, we get 3x minus 18 plus 2 equals 4x plus 8 minus 21. All right, so now we went from 4 terms, now we have 6 terms. Again, 3 times x, multiplication binds those two, the coefficient and the variable together. Now we got our 6 terms here. Combine the like terms. So to be a like term, they have to be on the same side. So we have our 2 constants. We're going to combine those together. We have our 2 constants over here. Sorry. -8 and -21. We're going to bind those together. So 3x minus 16 is 4x minus 13. All right, so this is a good thing to think about now. What do we want to do? Do we want to subtract 3x on both sides? Do we want to subtract 4x on both sides? What's easier? Well, if I subtract the 4x, I'm going to get a negative number over here. But if I subtract 3x, it means I'm going to create my 0 pair here, and I'm going to end up with a positive number, a positive x, which is always nice. So we subtract 3x on both sides of the equation because that's a property of equality. That is a 0 pair. I'm subtracting the 3x from this x because these are like terms. You cannot subtract 3x from -13. -13 doesn't have an x. This does. So those cannot be combined. But I can't subtract it from the 4x, and I get just x. All right. Remember, we're trying to isolate x. We're trying to get this by itself so we can find its value. So to make a 0 pair with the -13, I add 13 to it. And I get -3. X equals -3. All right, so number 6, the last problem, fairly similar to this. These progress in steps as you go down. So number 6, the only difference is on the second half of the equation, when you combine like terms, there's a 2x and an x. So those are your like terms on that second equation after you distribute, of course, because all of these, the first step is distributing. All right, so your extra credit problem, or sorry, let's go over some other things first. So again, these assignments that we're doing are not going to dramatically change your grade, but Here's what you can do to raise your grade if you don't like where it's at. If you have missing assignments, you can take care of those right now. Work out the assignments. You can go online to your Student Connect, find which assignment you're missing. Remember, most of those assignments are posted on Google Classroom, so you can scroll down to find that. You do have your digital textbook if you left your textbook in the classroom. If you don't remember how to get to your digital textbook, just type in cpm.org or .com. I don't remember which one that is. And then click on the ebook. When you Google it, it'll say ebook. Click on that, and you just sign in through your school Google account. If it asks you for a code, if you signed in with your school Google account and it asks you for a code, you can email me and I'll shoot you that code. That way you're able to use your digital textbook to make up any missing assignments. You can take a picture of those missing assignments and email them to me. You can take a picture of that assignment, and if you did it on the computer, you can go back to that assignment, leave it in the comment, and post the picture of the assignment, and I can give you the credit that way. Again, I also posted a makeup. If you did not do too well on the chapter 6, I believe that's the last test we took, chapter 6, yeah. If you didn't do too well and you got below a 70%, you can still do the Delta Math. There's an assignment on Delta Math that says chapter 6 makeup test. You got to complete those assignments. If you have questions like, hey, I cannot do this Delta Math, I'm too confused, I need someone to help me, shoot me an email, and then I can make a Google Meet meeting like I did earlier, and I can go over those problems with you. You just got to talk me through what you see on your screen. So that's one option to raise your grade. That would change your test score. Remember, you can only do that if you got below 70%. If you do complete it, I will raise your test grade up to a 70%. So that's Delta Math. Your password for Delta Math, your username is your full school email. First name, last name, 001@cusdstudent.com. Your password for Delta Math should be your first initial capitalized, your second initial lowercase, and your ID number. That's what I had you set it up when you first made it. Some of you might have redone that. You can, if you don't know your password, you can email me. Let me know, hey, I tried my Delta Math, my password didn't work. I can reset your password, and you can go from there. So again, fix missing assignments. Use it on Google Classroom or your ebook. You can do the Delta Math to raise your chapter 6 test score. If you got like a 68, I'll give you a little more than a 70% for going through all that work. But two ways if you are nervous about where your grade's at, because some of you might be nervous like, hey, I'm sitting at a 68% and I really don't like that. I want to see, I don't like seeing that my grade's a D at the moment. So that's one way that I can actually help you raise your grade. Extra credit assignment. Extra credit. Everybody loves extra credit, right? So let's do some extra credit. All right. Okay. This would be your extra credit assignment. Gosh, I don't know if this is backwards. I hope not. It's a bummer if it is. Need a mirror or something. 2x parentheses x plus 5 equals x parentheses 2x minus 4 close the parentheses. So this is one extra credit problem. You just work it on a piece of paper, take a picture, email it to me. The second one. Aha, second one. X plus 4 inside of parentheses times x minus 5 inside of parentheses, or sorry, that's a 2, sorry, x minus 2. X plus 4, x minus 2 equals 26. So the reason I'm throwing this one up here, if you forgot, extra credit problem. To multiply this out, you have to use that box method. Again, show your work, take a picture of it, email it to me. Give you some extra credit. I hope everybody's doing well. I know this is kind of very different, but you miss seeing all your friends and hanging out at school. If you have any questions, concerns, you can shoot me an email. I'll get on every day at noon on Google Meet to go over the worksheets. If you have questions, again this week, mainly solving equations. If the Google link at Clovis High, the Clovis High website is not working to get on to the worksheets, I will post it every day on Google Classroom. I'll try and do it early in the morning as much as possible. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.